The man couldn't believe his eyes, the skeleton lying before him was his own. Still reeling from the dizzying effects of time travel, Ethan's gaze locked onto the withered bones at the abandoned facility's entrance, and he stood frozen in place. The rusted nameplate on the tattered clothes bore the name Ethan, carved in letters identical to those on the tag hanging from his chest. What sent chills down his spine was the metal band embedded in the skeletal wrist. Its design, its size, perfectly matched the mysterious bracelet he'd worn since childhood, the one he could never remove. This was actually himself, dead 400 years in the future. A birthday night from decades ago suddenly flooded back. It was the only birthday his father had spent with him before disappearing. The man handed him a heavy iron box, and the moment he reached inside, the mechanical bracelet clamped down hard, blood instantly seeping between his fingers. His father stood motionless, his voice cold as steel. "Once it's on, it never comes off, but it'll save your life when you need it most." The words had barely left his lips when his father's figure vanished down the hallway. That goodbye had lasted 8 years. Time had carved its mark into the bracelet's metal grooves, while Earth hurtled toward destruction. A million lives fell to a heat wave in Spain in a single day, followed by droughts and floods that devoured cities into ruins. After all plant life died off, oxygen levels plummeted below 5%. Capitalists divided synthetic oxygen into different grades, and Ethan's wife was breathing cheap, low-purity oxygen that had her coughing up blood. He worked himself to the bone, but his wages couldn't even cover a day's worth of medication. Just as he was about to drop to his knees and beg the capitalists for help, the CEO of the world's largest oxygen company showed up at his door. "Only you can save all of humanity." Ethan actually laughed out loud. "I'm just a mechanic, you've got the wrong guy." But when the CEO pulled up the particle shuttle's records, he went completely rigid. A message from 400 years in the future specifically requested him. What's more brutal was that the shuttle only worked one way. Once you went through, there was no coming back. Watching his wife's back curve as she coughed, Ethan gritted his teeth and made his decision to go. With his AI assistant Archie, he stepped onto the shuttle platform. A blinding flash later, he opened his eyes to find himself in that forest, facing his own skeleton. Archie suddenly issued a low battery warning, and a final recording screeched out, "I'm using my life to buy time." Before he could hear the rest, it shut down. Just as Ethan clutched his head in despair, a familiar voice came from behind him. It was his buddy Robbie. Turns out Archie had sent a distress signal back to the past. The two used the bracelet to open the facility's doors. The moment the screen lit up, the bracelet suddenly tightened, blood seeping into the port, and power instantly restored. The footage suddenly flashed back, slamming the very truth right in Ethan's face. His father had invented this shuttle. Years ago, his father had hoped to use it to save Earth, but the CEO had long been using rebuilding civilization as a cover to escape to the future with a select few, and during their confrontation, he'd actually killed his father. What blew his mind even more was that even Robbie, his constant companion and best friend, was a plant working for the CEO. Robbie's face went white as a sheet. Learning the truth, Ethan completely broke down. Faced with the accusation, Robbie had his own painful story to tell. Their emotions spiraled out of control, and everything seemed to be following its predetermined path. But Robbie couldn't bring himself to make the move. He knew full well that if he killed Ethan, history's tragedy would repeat itself, and he was the only one who could change it all. In the end, Robbie made his choice. With his death, history would be completely rewritten. Next, Ethan went to the screen and sent the information he'd transmitted to his father in the past. By this time, the CEO had everything ready, just waiting to lead people into the future world. But unexpectedly, as a flash of bright light passed, the time machine suddenly stopped running. Ethan's figure didn't appear. Instead, what emerged were long-extinct green plants and hard evidence of the CEO killing Ethan's father. Of course, Ethan had orchestrated all of this, because he and his father shared the same conviction: they would never abandon life on Earth. Just like that, the CEO was thrown in prison for murder, and Ethan's wife, waiting anxiously at home, received a flower from 400 years in the future. At the same time, when Ethan returned to the facility's entrance, his own skeleton had completely vanished. It seemed history really had changed. He frantically ran toward the city center, and this time what met his eyes was no longer the devastated, war-torn world. Instead, it was humanity's rebuilt home 400 years later.